Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner coming to you with what I hope will be a fairly quick little bar necklace that we can have for fall, well, we're summer going into fall. Excuse me. Not too heavy. I'm going to be using some pearlized glass pearls again because I love them. And you can use any beads that you want for this, any round beads. I'm using 6 millimeter rounds, but you can use any size that you would like to fit your own personality and what you would like to see. But I'm using 6 millimeter round beads, 20 gauge wire and 24 gauge wire to achieve this fairly simple necklace. It's going to be a nice shaped bar out of the 20 gauge, and we're going to wrap some 6 millimeter round beads in there. So, wrong glasses. Yeah, doesn't make any difference. But what you're going to need for this is your usual tools. You'll need your round nose pliers. The barrels are round all the way around. They start larger at the bottom and gradually get pointier near the tip. Then your square nose pliers that are slightly rounded on the outside with a flat base on the inside. And you want to make sure when you buy these in the store or online that there aren't any ridges or grips in there because that can damage the usually soft wire that we use for our pieces. You'll need a you'll need a wire cutter, which is what these are. And they are going to do that. They're going to cut your wire, and you can also use it to cut chain because we're going to be using chain as well. You'll need a couple of jump rings, several jump rings, in fact, and that is it, except for a clasp that we're going to make. Now, you can use a lobster clasp, but I thought we would just make a nice little simple, pretty clasp that kind of echoes the shape of the bar that we're going to make. Why not? Why not? So that's what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and get down here to the mat and get started. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is cut 12 inches of 20 gauge wire, which is what I have here. And then we're going to make a kind of fluted bar for our bar necklace. So what you need is just a pen, an ink pen, or some small cylindrical item that you can use to make your little grooves that your beads are going to fit into. So I'm just going to go right here on the tip of my, light this up a little bit. I'm going to go right here on the tip of my ink pen, slide it back to the size that I want. Again, I'm using 6 millimeter, so I want it to be big, the little fluted part to be big enough to fit my beads in. So I'm going to just go right here to the center of my wire, and I'm just going to bend my wire to create my first little house for my bead. Okay. Then I'm going to go right beside that, and I'm going to make another one. So just right next to it, make another little fluted part. Just bend it over my ink pen or whatever it is that you're using. Okay, like so. And then go beside that one and make another bend. Now let's check it. So I don't want it to be too big. That fits right in there very nicely. Very nice. And I have 15 beads, so I'm going to make 15 of these. Okay, just wrap that around there. Make another one right beside that. And oops that up a little bit. There we go. And then make another one right beside that one. It's going to be a little sketchy looking at first, but you're going to adjust it once you get them all in, like that. So I'm going to keep going until I have 15 of these little grooves, and then I'll be right back and show you what to do next. Okay, here's my little bar. And now what I'm going to do is cut the sides down because I'm going to make a little spiral on each side that I'm going to use to attach to my chain. So I'm going to cut the sides down to, I'm going to give it about 1.25 inches. I'm just kind of eyeballing here. Yeah, about 1.25 inches on each side so that I can make a small spiral. It doesn't have to be a large one. So let's cut that down. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers and I'm going to make a small open spiral. So I'm going to take the wire, I'm going to go down about 1/4 inch down my pliers so I can get a nice circle in the center. And I'm going to, the wire is going to, I'm going to wrap it away from my design. So here's my bar. I'm going to wrap away from my bar. So I've got it about 1/4 inch away from the tip. Check to make sure that the wire is not sticking out the pliers here, and then I'm going to make a loop. Make a small loop. I'm just going to rotate until the tip is almost touching the rest of the wire. Not quite, but almost. Then I'm going to continue to wrap the wire around itself until I have, you can see I'm getting the start of a spiral here. And you can use more wire if you want a bigger spiral. I just wanted something that was pretty to attach to my chain. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. There we go. There's my little spiral. I think I'll curve it around just a little bit more. And there it is. So there's my little spiral on one side. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Slide my wire down about 1/4 of the way from the tip, 1/4 inch from the tip. Make a nice open loop until the tip of the wire is almost touching the rest of the wire. And again, I'm wrapping away from my bar and just keep wrapping until I have a nice little spiral. That matches the other side. There we go. Yes. Just make it whatever adjustments you need to make. Take that down a little bit more. There we go. And this center, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So that it matches the other side. That's better. Let's take a look. That's good, but I think I'm going to squeeze this in a little more, and this is very soft wire, so I can do that with my fingers, my fingernails. If you don't want to ruin your fingernails, you can grab your pliers and do it. Just be careful not to squeeze it too small. Just want to match it up with the other side. That's better. And then if you need to, you can make adjustments to the little grooves that you have here. Just kind of adjust them the way you want them because basically you just want it big enough for your little beads to fit into. If you see it's too tight, open it up a little bit until they fit. Yes, 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 yes. And again, as you're adding your little beads, you can open it or wrap it closer around your beads if you need to. Very, very malleable wire. You can make it do what you want it to do. Nice. Very nice. And now I'm going to make I'm going to shape it. So I want the center, I have 15 little grooves here. Yes, I got 15 little grooves here. I want to find the center one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's my center. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shape mine into a little V. So I'm going to just bring my wire down a little bit in the center, like so, until I have a little V shape right there in the middle. And I keep saying but yes, the wire is very malleable, so it will do what you tell it to do. And then I'm going to, once I've got that V shape, I'm going to bring the sides up a little bit. A little V, and then shape it until I have a little U, slight U, on one side, and then do the same on the other side. So just give it a little curve. Now, this is what I'm doing. You can shape your little bar into whatever shape you would like. And you can do this now, or you can do it after you put your beads in. So that just gives me an idea what it's going to look like. Just like that. And then once I get my beads in, I'll shape it better. But I kind of got it started. Up in the center, down and around. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting my beads in my little grooves. So let's do that. And for that, I'm going to need 24 gauge wire. I have about half a yard here of 20 gauge wire or 24 gauge wire. And what you want to do, it depends on your beads. I would make sure you have at least half a yard of wire, about half a yard of wire for the 6 millimeters that I'm going to wrap on this 15 swoop bar. But if you're using larger beads, you're going to need more wire. If you're using smaller beads, you'll use less wire. If you're doing more than 15, you get the drift. You get my drift. You just need to adjust it according to what you are doing. So let's go ahead and start making wrapping my little beads in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a pretty red one. Yeah. So what I'm going to do This thread, I'm going to go ahead and wrap first. I'm going to wrap the wire around one side. Just give myself about 1/2 inch tail here. Wrap the wire around one side of one of my little grooves. Wrap it around 1.5 times so it's nice and snug. The beads will keep the wrap from moving, so you don't have to worry about it shifting like this once you get your beads in. But you want to wrap it as tightly as you can. Around your bar. Okay, and then I'm going to slide this bead on. Slide it down into my little groove. Adjust the groove to fit the bead, like so, and then wrap the other side of the wire around the little bar on the other side to lock in the bead. I'm giving it 1.5 wraps around. Then I'm going to grab a second bead, slide it on my wire, slide it in the little groove, open that up to fit my little bead. There we go. And then wrap the wire around the other side of my little groove here. Fit that in. Wrap that around. 1.5 times. You want to make sure you can do 2 times if you want to, but give yourself at least 1.5 times so it's nice and secure in there. Let's grab another bead, slide it on. Get it nicely down in my little groove and wrap. And you want to make sure that your wraps are nice and close to your bar. You don't want it to be really loose. Okay. Slide on another bead. Get it down in that little groove. Adjust the groove to fit and wrap. There we go. Nice. You see where I'm going with this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish wrapping. Ooh, let's put this really pretty purple one on. I'm going to go ahead and finish wrapping this on my bar. And then I'm going to come back and show you what to do next. Put that in there. Get that nicely fitted and wrap. Yes. Okay, I will finish this up and I will be right back. Okay, now my little bar is nicely wrapped. I think this is my center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So this gray one is right in the center of my bar, right in the center. So what I'm going to do is shape it now. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a bend so I have a kind of a rounded V shape. And then I am going to give myself a little swoop on each side. Just another little bend up. So I'm bending it down in the center and then up on each side. So I have a little V in the center a little upside down V actually at this point because it's going to go this way. And then I'm going to bring it up and swoop it down on the sides. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like it. Yes. And again, you can shape it any way you want. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing here. It's fun. So that's gonna be my little bar. That's going to be my little centerpiece for my necklace. Isn't that neat? I love it. Let's make that a little deeper. Just because I can, just because I can. Yes. Isn't that cute? I love it. Oh, I love it. Yes. So this is my shape. You can play with yours and do whatever shape strikes your fancy. Doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but this is going to be the shape that I'm going to put on a chain. So now you need a chain. So what I did was get a piece of chain. I wanted to make my necklace about 18 inches, and this takes up about 4 inches. So then you'll get whatever length you want to finish up your 18 inches. I've got 14 inches here, or yeah, 7 inches on each side. I just took a 14-inch piece, cut it in half, and the other 4 inches that I have for my bar here will give me 18 inches of necklace. I didn't want this to be too long. The 18 and 20 inches is your standard princess length, and I didn't want it to be too long because this little bar fits beautifully on the inside of a collar or right just in the middle of a t-shirt or a sweater. You can make it longer. This will adapt to pretty much any length because this is what you're going to be looking at. So I've got two 7-inch pieces and I'm going to hang my little centerpiece from that. And how am I going to do that, you ask? I am going to take a couple of jump rings and I'm going to attach my chain. Now, the proper way to open your jump ring is to grab one side of the jump ring, one side of the opening with your pliers. So here's the opening. I'm going to go to one side with one set of pliers, go to the other side with another pair of pliers. I like to have my square pliers on one side pointing in and my round pliers pointing up and down, and then twist it open, just like that. And then I'm going to take my jump ring and slide it into my open spiral. And this is why I have an open spiral, because I can easily slide my jump ring in there. Add my chain, slide that on the jump ring, and close. Just twist it closed the way I twisted it open. Oh, come on. Get back on there. Or you can anchor it with your finger and push it closed. Twist it closed with your pliers and just hold it with your finger. Hold it in place with your finger, like that. Then it won't try to fly across the room or jump off of your wire. Okay, so let's grab another one. Slide that onto my spiral. Spiral is a little close together. Again, you want that space in there because you want to be able to get your jump ring in. slide that on. Come on. Open it up a little. If you have to open it up a little bit, just open it up with your pliers or with your fingers. Either one. Again, the wire is very malleable at first. After you worked with it, it will toughen up later. But right now, you can adapt it to what you want it to do. And add my chain to my jump ring and close it. I twist that closed. And check to make sure that the tips are meeting and that there aren't any openings in your jump ring. There. So there's my little necklace. Isn't that neat? So now I just need to add a clasp. I'm going to go ahead and put a jump ring on one side of my necklace, and then I'm going to make a clasp that we'll use, a hook that we'll use for my clasp. Twist that closed, either with your pliers or with your finger. Make sure that tip is nicely closed. Just always check that. Your finishings are very, very important. Wow, so beautifully closed, I can't even find it. Good. Okay, so let's put that to the side right now. Isn't that cute? So simple. And let's grab another piece of 20 gauge wire. It doesn't take much, about an inch and a half. That's about it. Inch and a half, 2 inches. It depends on how big you want your clasp to be. I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 inches. All right. Then I'm going to grab my pliers. I'm going to make a very small loop right here at the tip of my pliers. Just grab my wire and make a small loop. Just rotate until the tip of my wire is touching the rest of the wire. Just close, just back that right up against the rest of the wire. I don't want it overlapping or bypassing the other wire. It needs to actually rest against that wire. Then I'm going to grab my ink pen. Grab my ink pen, and I'm going to put it on the long part of my wire, the long bare part, right there behind my loop. And I'm going to wrap that wire around my pen, like so, just like that. Then I'm going to go down here just below my loop, about a half an inch, and I'm going to cut off the rest of it. I just need about a half an inch of wire between the loop and the tip. Cut that off. Grab my round nose pliers, and I'm going to make another small loop down here. The larger loop is right here. I'm going to wrap this loop in the opposite direction. Okay, so another small loop, and just rotate until that tip is touching the rest of the wire, just like so. And I have a nice little hook. That's it. Very simple. Make sure it's closed, nice and snug. And now all I have to do is open it up, attach it to the part of the chain that doesn't have the jump ring on it. Just slide that last link of chain inside my loop and twist it closed again. And there it is. All I have to do is slip my little hook inside the jump ring on the other side. Oh, you want to make a very small loop here. If for some reason you see it's not going to fit in your jump ring, just make it a little smaller. So I'm going to cut off a teeny tiny bit, just a smidge, and then close that up a little tighter. And if you want to, you can just squeeze it so that you can get a smaller loop. Just close it up just a smidge. Smaller, just a smidge smaller. Enough so that you can get it inside of your jump ring. And it depends on the size jump rings you use. You just want to make the loop that's on your hook smaller than that jump ring. Oh, come on. Come on, come on. Okay, that should do it. One can only hope. You want it to slide easily into that jump ring, but not really be able to slide easily out of the jump ring once you have it on. And there we have it. I wanted a nice simply curved hook that matches the curve of my necklace, just because I like that. Isn't that neat? Okay, let's put it on a form and see what it looks like. Ooh, I love it. Okay, I couldn't resist. I put it on and I shortened mine because I wanted it to fit up here. So don't panic. I'm gonna give you a good half yard of chain in your kits so that you can wear it longer if you want to or shorter if you want to. It's entirely up to you. But this is where I wanted mine to hit, and this is about 16 inches, I guess. I cut down on each side about 1.5 inches, so I took off about 3 inches so that it would rest where I wanted it. I like this a lot. So this, oh, and I wanted to point out, notice that the beads have no specific pattern as far as color. I just put them on the way I wanted them. And that's what worked. So I wanted to do something that was pretty quick and pretty easy that you could make a lot of, because this is something that you can really make as a gift. You can make a lot of these with the pearls like I use. Crystals would be beautiful. Stone beads would be beautiful. It is really up to you and how you want it to look. I'm trying to do some things that are a little bit more interchangeable that you can design to your own your not abilities, but aesthetics. Okay, it's telling me to wrap it up. But I wanted to do this because I wanted you to have something simple that you can do, your kids can do, anybody can do. This is a very beginner project. And I wanted to make sure that it was easy enough for you to do. And yes, I used the word easy. I always get berated for that because they say easy for you. It's not easy for us. It is not difficult. Let's just put it that way. Now, I wanted to remind you that for those of you who get kits during the month of September, see, I was going to put it on this and I changed my mind. During the month of September, there will be no kits. I'm taking a little bit of a break and wanted to give you the opportunity to use beads that you can get from your craft store. I get a lot of people who see the specialty beads that I use that come from different countries and different regions, and they say, well, I can't, mine look like yours because I can't get those. Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to get those. And you don't want it to look exactly like what I do anyway. I want you to be able to use any beads that make you happy and make something really pretty and feel confident in what you've made. So during the month of September, I'm going to issue the challenge for you to go to your craft store and get your own beads and make what I make on camera. I'm going to tell you what you need to use, what sizes of beads will work for whatever pattern we're making, whatever design we're doing. And then you can go to Amazon, Etsy, your local craft store, and get comparable beads that will make your piece to your specifications. Then in October, we'll be back with the kids. And those of you who get kids, you'll have kids again. So don't panic, they're coming back. The tutorials will continue, but you will be using the beads of your choice. I say that a lot, use the beads of your choice, but people see the picture and they want it to look exactly like that. And they get a little stymied because they're not sure of where to go next. So this month is going to be a learning experience in that respect as far as design. That's it. That's all I wanted to say on that subject. I hope you enjoyed this. I am really loving this necklace. It's so simply beautiful, really, I think. But I hope that you enjoyed this particular tutorial, and I hope you'll let me know one way or the other. Get in touch with me at the email that's listed in the description. You can leave pictures and comments on the DeKalb County Library Facebook page. That's also in the description where you can go for that. You're here at YouTube. You can leave me comments here. I love to hear from you. I really do. And I love more than anything to see the pictures of what you made with your own beads. So feel free to get in touch with me and let me know what you think one way or the other. And let me know what you might like to see in the future, because I love that too. So until next time, I hope you have a great week. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.